Hello everyone. I really don't know what I'm going to say in this video. Most of my videos I don't have a script or anything. I just start talking. I have a subject matter and then I just go with it. So today's subject matter is going to be ovarian cancer. For those of you who have been here a while and been following along and you don't want to hear about it again, you can click out and I'll catch up with you the next time. But something's been, eating at me that I need to make another video about my experience and the symptoms, in the hopes that anyone who might have missed my first one that was done way back might catch this one and it might help someone. And I think it's kind of been on my heart because one of my really good friends that I worked with for a long time has been diagnosed in November or October. She started having symptoms in the summer. And I will say that everyone's symptoms and everyone's outcome is completely different. I mean, it is a total crapshoot. And with her, she had pain. She had pain, I think she described it as just below her, or just below or just above her navel. And when she would go to bend over and things like that, it kept getting worse and worse. That was the only thing she complained about. And that's how she got diagnosed. Me, I had symptoms for a good 6-8 months, maybe more, because my symptoms were more subtle and it wasn't pain that I had. A lot of times if you get diagnosed because of pain, that's a better outcome, because pain's going to drive you to the emergency room or to repeated doctor appointments. So my symptoms were as follows: heartburn, unrelenting, nothing helped it. I could drink a glass of water and I would have a horrid heartburn. I was taking the over-the-counter heartburn tablets, nothing would help it, nothing. And then one day I woke up, just one day, willy-nilly, and I was bloated right here between my navel and under my breast, because a lot of times I will watch these videos about ovarian cancer and the woman simply says that she had bloating. My bloating, I want to be specific with you, bloating could be the entire abdomen. When someone says bloating, it could be the lower abdomen, like when you're constipated, or it could be up here. So I wish they would be more specific when they say that they were bloated, because it's helpful to know that. So mine was right here, and I had it like took away my waistline. I didn't have my waistline anymore, and I was just all bloated right here. I didn't really realize how badly I was bloated until somebody took, and not an anonymous, but just a snapshot of me with their phone, and I saw the picture and I was like, whoa, I really am putting on the weight there. It wasn't weight gain, it was just bloat. And the other symptoms that I had was something inside me just kept saying something's not right, but I don't know what it is. And fatigue. And also, and I hate to be blunt about this portion of my symptoms, and I'm not sure if everyone has this problem, but I had extreme bowel problems. And that was probably the first thing that I started to notice, was like, what is going on? Sporadically, I would have bouts with constipation versus diarrhea. And then that slowly turned into a daily, like I could set my watch by it, of when I would need to go to the restroom. And so it got to a point where I couldn't have my coffee or anything on the way to work. I would have to wait till I got there. Anything that I put in my mouth that hit my stomach immediately made that start. And start it did. So I would eat breakfast and have coffee at lunch in the lounge. And then right at 8:10 or 8:15, I was in the bathroom for about 20 minutes, relieving myself. And it was very, very painful, like giving birth through your bowels. I mean, you know, if you're here for this video, you want to know everything. So I'm telling you. And so then I would clean myself up and go to work, and then I would rehydrate, and everything would be fine until the next morning. And I did that every single day for probably 5 months, 4 or 5 months. I got diagnosed with irritable bowel. And I think that's because I went to a gastroenterologist, and believe it or not, I said, everything I've read and everything I've picked up on, because I was in the medical field at the time, I told him, I said, I think I have irritable bowel because this, and this. And he goes, yeah, I agree. No testing, no nothing. And so, like a little child, because work was getting upset with me, I took my note back to my boss and I said, here, I've been diagnosed with this. And then I went on my merry way. Things kept getting worse and worse, and there was pain eventually towards the end in my ovary on my right side. I knew it was ovarian pain because I had had cysts when I was young, and at this point I was 56, and the doctor said you shouldn't be having cysts on your ovaries at this point, which started the ball rolling with blood tests and scans, ultrasounds. And that's when I got diagnosed. I was diagnosed officially with, I mean, we knew going in January of 2012 that I had cancer, but the biopsies and the surgery were done on February 29th of 2012. So February this year will be 13 years for me, and I was diagnosed, like most of us are, in stage 3, almost 4. They called it stage 3C. And, you know, I did chemo, the surgery, which I already mentioned, and the chemo didn't seem to work. I had something that they classify as clear cell. I had epithelial clear cell, grade 3 ovarian cancer. Anyone that asks me, or anyone doctor-wise or anything where it comes up, and I have to tell them my history, and I tell them what I just said, and they stop writing or typing and look at me and say, and you're still here, because statistically, I should not have made it that first year or two. Why I did, I don't know. There is some guilt with it when I see others that are suffering through it and can't get past it. But I guess that's the way it's supposed to be, right? And so, like I said, to a certain extent, you have to advocate for yourself. On YouTube, there is a series of videos called The Patient Story, and there are all different kinds of cancers and how they got diagnosed and what they had to go through to get a diagnosis. And some of them have to do with ovarian cancer, but all of them pretty much had to fight for themselves to figure out, look, I'm telling you there's something wrong. And after you tell a doctor or your family that you really feel like there's something wrong and you don't know and they can't find anything, then you're starting to get the whispers behind your back that you're a complainer, they've done all these tests, they don't know what it is, she's still griping, she's a hypochondriac. So it can be a lonely road. So if you have been diagnosed or you're about to be going to the doctor because you're suspicious and it turns out to be the worst, just know that a part of the worst of it is the lonely road, because people don't understand. People hear the word cancer and they're like, oh, bummer, I'll be here for you. And some people do stick around, some don't. but it's after. It's after the chemo. It's after you're given the all clear, which they call no evidence of disease on scan. That's when it gets lonely, because that's when you're like out here dangling from a tree branch all by yourself, still terrified, and nobody understands why you're still thinking about it. Because, you know, one doctor that I saw through this whole thing was very, very sweet and understanding. And she said, you know, cancer is very sneaky. And so we have to do, you know, the pelvic exams, and we have to do the, you know, A, B, C, D, E every 6 months to a year. Once you're at 5 years, a lot of doctors just try to push you out. I don't think that that is really what they're doing nowadays. I think they want to have a relationship with you all throughout, no matter how long it's been, which I think they should. You should see someone for these things, you know, after you've been diagnosed, for as many years as it takes. That's just my opinion. I did have to beg some doctors to go ahead and continue to see me after, you know, 7 or 8 years. Sorry, I'm either getting a cold or I have horrible allergies. But you know, it's easy to fall through the cracks. So I think I kind of got caught back up with my own health after kind of being, you know, lost out in the field by myself for a while. Because, like she explained to me, it's sneaky. And that's what the point that I was trying to make before, is that people don't understand why you're still thinking about it after you're done with treatment and they've declared you cancer-free. And the reason you still are thinking about it is because it snuck up on you in the first place. And you weren't thinking cancer. And in fact, you were able to ignore some of your symptoms. And you don't want that to sneak up on you again. And it's like if you've been, you know, walking down the street and somebody comes up behind you and hits you in the head with a hammer. Are you just always going to trust that that person or another person's not going to walk up behind you and hit you with a hammer again? No. You're always going to be looking behind your back. You know, there of course is a fine line, you know, of freaking out over every little thing. Every little thing doesn't necessarily mean that you have cancer again. But the longer it goes on and you know your body, you know, you can discern the different things. So if you are having any symptoms, if you're having bloating, if you're having heartburn, that's a symptom that is rarely mentioned. If you're having a lot of fatigue, constipation, or diarrhea, or both back and forth, or of course, any kind of pain, insist. If you think there's something going on, insist on a CA-125 blood test and insist on an ultrasound. It's not money that's coming out of the doctor's pocket. It's not time that's coming out of the doctor's day. It's you. So don't hesitate. Ask for those things if you think they're necessary and could lead to a diagnosis. Pay attention to your body, and good luck. I mean, that's the only thing. After that, you're just flying by the seat of your pants, basically. So my friend that I mentioned at the beginning, she's having another CAT scan tomorrow. Things are not looking good for her. And I just wish this horrible disease could just go away for all of us forever. So I'm going to let you go. We're looking at 15 minutes here of me just blabbing on and on. But like I said, I wanted to reach out into the inner web, as they call it, and just talk about it again, because it might reach some new people, and it might reach some new people that need to hear about my story again. And also look up the YouTube channel called The Patient Story, and you can go through and find out which, you know, which cancer you want to listen to and what their symptoms were and stuff. It's very informative, probably more informative than this. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.